All right, welcome out to Windshield Time, everybody. Glad to have you out for another episode. This week we have a special guest with us, Mr. Richard Evans.
Thank you.
You'll notice him from all of our Mountainland Truck Outfitters and any Barbudo commercials you may see. He's the best beard in the biz.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Thank you, guys.
also here with Brandon Johnson, as always, our CEO, and our mixer extraordinaire, producer of sorts, Shorts. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about our verticals and how they kind of tie into Mountainland. So we'll probably do a little bit of background on how we got into this vertical, and Brandon will probably head that up. But first of all, Rich, why don't you just give everybody kind of a Cliff Notes version of who is Rich, what makes up Rich.
Oh.
We were talking about earlier that you speak fluent Portuguese.
I do.
Portuguese.
Portuguese. My mom's from Brazil, so I grew up speaking Portuguese, man. I had to actually learn English, and now I'm forgetting Portuguese. So
Which is sad.
It is sad.
Is your mom still alive?
Yeah, and she doesn't speak Portuguese to us. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm picking it up. My grandmother. Yeah, I'm 51,
Yeah.
and my grandmother's visiting right now.
Dude, that's some good
Yeah,
genes.
so
Where does she normally live?
Sao Paulo.
Really?
Yeah.
And
So
she's
she
staying with
traveled
your
the whole
mom
way
right
up
now.
here. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Isn't that cool?
So
Hey,
how
kid-
old is she?
She's 90.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you say hello, windshield wipers?
Windshield wipers?
That's so Shorts came up with a name for the four people that are listening to this.
All four?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are the windshield wipers.
I like it.
We might be 5 now because your mom might start listening.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe 6 if your grandma.
Yeah.
Well, she
Can we
doesn't-
translate it?
Well, she can't. She doesn't know how to work any kind of equipment, man.
You can set it up for her.
She's 90. I mean,
You could set it up for
she's
her.
a nice
It'd be good.
lady, but yeah, she's not very tech savvy.
The little tech challenge.
She still has her washer and dryer from like the 60s, dude.
That's respectable, man.
Right?
Does
Honestly,
she
they
actually
won't
have a
have that.
dryer?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's an
she's
actual
one-
dryer like what
yeah.
we have here?
Yeah.
It's not something that just spins and gets the water out?
It's an actual dryer.
Okay.
But
Sorry, I just had to ask because
Yeah.
sometimes, like in those countries in Central America and South
Yeah.
America, the dryer is actually just spins it out and then they have to hang it up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and she doesn't use it very often. She mostly hangs her clothes up.
she still
Yeah,
does
she's
it
just
that way.
old school. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to say windshield wipers in Portuguese. So
You can
we're
just say that one in normal.
I'm just going to ease on past that. I'm going to pretend you didn't ask.
That's fair. I really want you to say something like a few sentences because
It's a beautiful language.
it's not an accent, but your voice, how you speak. I just want to does that translate over into Portuguese as well?
Yeah, it does.
Does?
Yeah. Bom, eu vou falar em português só pouquinho, mas como eu disse antes, eu esqueci quase tudo.
Dude, I freaking love that. That is
I
awesome.
love
you
your
go.
voice already, and then add the Portuguese element to it. Oh, beautiful, man.
Easy, bud. Easy.
So where's the statue of Christ? Is that in
That's
Rio?
in Rio.
Rio.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in Rio.
Christ the Redeemer.
Yep.
Right. Have you been there too?
Yeah.
I have not. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Never been to Rio.
Have you been to Sao Paulo?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
Yep, I lived there for a spell back in the, I think it was 96? No, it was earlier than that. I think it was 91 is when I lived there.
Is this when you had the warrants out for you?
Yes.
For your arrest? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Had
had
to
to just
get out of here for a
had to go
bit.
secret sauce, make my way down.
Secret sauce. Oh, by the way, if it's for the windshield wipers out there is a list of Richisms.
Yep.
Oh,
That-
cool.
that have
I
been
forgot about
collected.
those.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll read some of those at some point throughout this podcast. Just
From
so
the very
people-
first time that we met him, if you
Oh, yeah.
remember right, we were over here in the conference room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And right there, we're just like, what? Who is this guy?
I'll have to look those up.
Surprised to have a job, dude.
Yeah, we're surprised we have jobs too, so we're all in the same boat,
Yeah.
brother. So, how long have you been in the industry, like the automotive industry?
I started in 96.
96.
Yep.
And what were you doing then?
I was selling cars.
Yeah.
Is how I started, and then in '97 I became the accessories manager at a store up in Salt Lake,
Okay.
And just kind of been doing that since, man.
Yeah.
So I started the accessory department at Brent Brown Dodge at the time, which is now Larry Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Started the accessory department at Kangar Ford. Started the accessory department at West Valley Dodge. And
started Mountainland Truck Outfitters.
Started Mountainland Truck Outfitters with you guys. So it's been fun, man. I really love what I do. It's just a passion, you know.
Yeah.
So I live a pretty masculine life.
Yeah, you do.
You know, I
Yeah,
sweat
you do.
testosterone. That's not sweat. That's testosterone.
Yeah. Between everything you do with trucks, cars,
And
any
beards.
kind of automobile and beards.
Beards.
Yep.
Just so you guys know, like Barbudo really is Rich's like side gig, but it's a big deal. And you just came up with like a drink that grows hair, right?
Yeah. It's an energy drink, and it actually grows hair.
Hold on. How do you know it actually? Like,
I had a lab, dude. I worked on it for like 2 years with a lab.
are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
He's
big deal,
passionate
bud.
about this testosterone
You think
stuff.
I go
man.
halfway on anything, dude?
No, I
Judging
don't.
from the beard, you do not.
No, I don't do anything half.
Going all in.
We went 2 years.
2 years you've been working on this with
Yeah.
a lab.
Yep. So works.
Here's the
Oh,
problem,
I have
and
so
this is
many
what I
questions about
told him when he told me about it. I'm like, can you control where the hair grows?
No.
Because there
Oh.
are areas in my body I don't care to have more hair.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can prove that you cannot control it, and I can show you if you want.
Hey,
I'm good.
so this is a question. I mean, have you been drinking this stuff?
Well, yeah, dude.
2 years.
I'm
He's getting high on his own supply, dude.
I'm still looking at his head.
Well,
You got to have a follicle,
Listen, I
right?
gotta tell you, and I'm not saying it will grow hair. I'm gonna be clear on that, but it did.
Really?
Back here, I was shiny bald, and now I got little stubbles.
Really?
Yeah,
So it reactivated your follicles.
it did, but I'm not saying.
I hope
it would.
Brandon Keach is listening to this.
Because I have a great interest in this product, possibly,
Okay,
as I sit here with a bald head. So,
I'll get you some.
man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
good. And it
I
tastes
have
all
so
right.
many questions about this product.
You know what it
we don't
tastes
have
like?
enough time for
We
this.
really don't. We'll have to do
But,
another
yeah.
episode on this
Yeah.
one.
Offline, I'm gonna.
Okay.
That's amazing.
I'm
I love.
I'm
how-
sure the tens of listeners out there are actually interested in this
tens,
too.
the tens. Are we up to
The
10
fives, probably the fives. We
Oh,
probably broke 11. We're in the double digits at this point.
That's pretty awesome.
now? Yeah.
11 windshield wipers out there.
Mostly we do this just for our own entertainment.
Yeah, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So, Brandon, why don't you kind of tell everybody out there kind of how we got to, doing Mountainland Truck Outfitters?
Yeah, and Rich, you might have to
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And I'll try and kind of give a condense because there's a lot of
Yeah, give them,
the
Cliff Notes.
details. Yeah. So back in the pandemic, we had quite a few trucks that we used with a company that Rich was at formerly.
Right.
And for some reason during that time, we had, I think it was about like a dozen trucks there, or 10 trucks, and they had been sitting there for quite a few months. And for us, if we have a truck, when we take that possession of it, we start paying for it. And we just needed to get some upgrades, upfitting on it.
We needed beds on
on
them.
it.
Yeah,
Beds
right.
is really what we needed to do. So we were just having issues just trying to get that with the servicing. And in this industry, from my understanding and what I've seen, is there's only a handful of providers that can do this. And every time, anyone that you go to, I mean, they sit on trucks for months on end.
Months and months and months.
Because there's just a high demand for it. So we were finding that for us to even just say, hey, we're going to go take them to someone else, that wasn't a possibility. So there's some discussions, and Rich, I think you kind of helped us with this, that, hey, there might be an opportunity there to buy the business. And so I got in contact with the owner at the time, and we talked about it. And at first there wasn't any interest there. And for our sake, for our business, it was like, no, we really need to come to a resolution here. And so we went through a process. He did allow us to, look at his business and make an offer for it. It wasn't quite to the point that he wanted to be able to sell his business. He was still pretty early in the business and still thought that it had some runway there to be able to get profitable and take off, really.
Which he wasn't wrong.
No.
I mean,
there was a market.
It needed more capital.
There's a market there, and I think there needed to be, I hate to say this, but more attention.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lack on Rich's part or his crew's part. It was just the being able to help with resources and just saying, okay, what do you need? And Rich, what I really loved about Rich was from the get-go, he had a vision of what this should look like. And it never felt like he was supported in that.
Right.
And so that's really kind of the attention. Really get behind Rich and say, hey, let's go with it. And what is it that you need? And let's get those resources for you. So it was, some of it was capital, some of it was inventory, some of it was resources,
Which
facilities.
all boils down to attention. Like
Exactly.
you
So, anyways, with this gentleman, we weren't able to come to an agreement on that. And so I remember I had a conversation with him saying, okay, well, give me a solution here of how you're going to take care of our trucks. And he kind of yah-yahed me. And we went a week or two and nothing happened with it. He never got back to me. And so at that time I was a little frustrated, and our fleet department was frustrated too. So I asked the fleet manager to go down there and grab the trucks and just take them from there. And we'd been working in the background too. We had actually found 2 welders,
fabricators
that could do what we were asking for through, actually networks from our own employees. And we had to make a capital outlay to get some equipment. I think it was like $25,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
And
relative to the business.
And one of those 2, by the way, is Aaron Shaw.
Yeah.
That's still with us.
Yep.
So Aaron, these 2 gentlemen, Aaron and the other guy, they could flip out of bed 1 a week.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, great. This is awesome. And, as we looked at it, we're just like, okay, I remember looking at the numbers of this. I was like, okay, we got like 12 trucks here. So that's 12 weeks of work for these people. I'm like, what are we going to do afterwards? We better figure out something. And then we're like, well, because we do some fabrication in other areas of our business, we're like, well, we can put them down there and we can have them help there. But just the savings on those 12 trucks, I remember that would pay for the wages and our capital outlay.
Yep.
So just even the 12 weeks, we would have broke even with it. So we're just like, oh, that's great. In my mind, it was well worth it. And if we can then deploy them doing something else. Well, soon after, what happened is word got out about what was going on. And if I remember right, it was like in a month and a half, we had like 60 orders for beds.
Yeah.
And so that was
a great partner of ours, Young Chevrolet, our Young Automotive Group.
Enterprise.
Enterprise jumped on.
Yep.
And because they needed a solution as well.
So then you start thinking about that. It's like, well, wait a minute. We might be able to have an opportunity here to be actually have a vertical here. And so I remember sitting together as an executive team. I remember my thoughts, and I vocalized these is, if we're going to do this, really what we're looking for is let's break even on this. And so that we can ensure that we can make sure that we can put food on these employees' tables, for their families. We can feed their families. I was like, that's my bare minimum. And usually when, Joey, when we talk about a new vertical, a new branch or anything like that, that's not our expectation. Our expectation is it's profitable and here's a level of profitability that we're looking for. This one we were taking a little bit step down because we just knew that the offset of the service that we could get done for ours. So long story short, after we took those, I think it was 2 months later, 2 or 3 months later, the business that Rich that you work for, they actually closed the doors. The other gentleman bowed out and said he was done. And so it was good, I think, for all of us, because then we were able to pick up some of the employees from over there. Rich was one of them. And we had a vision for Rich, and Rich had a vision as well. And I think they aligned very well with each other. And that's kind of the start of Mountainland Truck Outfitters, is from that point on. And we started in actually the old facility. Yep. We took over the phone number even from the
all
prior
the equipment.
business, all the equipment and inventory. I mean, it was one of those that, to be honest with you, we got it for cheaper than what our original offer was, which was it kind of made me just kind of take a step back, but
worked out well.
It worked out. It was awesome. And we were able to get some really phenomenal employees to be able to help us get that started. And Rich, again, was kind of the mastermind behind that. For those that are listening, we've kind of talked about it. When we start a new vertical, we always try and find one person. We call them a champion. We want that person. And then we put our whole weight behind them and support behind them and say, okay, what will it take? Let's go from there. So that's kind of the background of how we got into Truck Outfitters. Often we get asked, like, why? And it was really for our own selfishness for us. But then we saw that it actually had a larger outreach than we thought that it could. And now it helps services a ton of our customers.
Yep.
Well, the other portion of that is we didn't, just like all of our verticals, we didn't reinvent our customer base.
No.
The same customer base we've always had, this complemented that offering. So every customer that we have has a truck, or they have a ladder, a rack, or they have something that our fabrication shop or our accessory shop can provide for them. And so, again, it's just trying to get a little bit more of that spend from that customer base, so we're not reinventing the wheel.
Add one more product line to them, and then also there are usually a few more customers that you can get.
Right.
That you're like, oh, wait, you're not buying from us. And
Yep.
anyways. But, Rich, that's my recollection of it. Did I miss anything?
No, I think
I tried to keep it very high level and
yeah.
take the high road.
No names were mentioned.
20,000 foot view. Yep.
Yep.
No, that's pretty much it. But it has worked out really well.
Yeah.
Like the customers that Mountainland Supply deals with, I mean, every single one of them has a truck or a van or something that we can help with.
Right.
And getting parts is hard. Getting work done is hard. And so having the ability to provide that for them
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So we started out with just one shop in Orem, and now we have several shops. So kind of tell them how we've kind of grown that over time.
Yeah. So we started with the one shop in Orem, like you said, got stuffed real fast, 10,000 square feet in the building, but like 5,000 usable.
Right.
Right. You grow out of that real quick when you're doing 22-foot trucks.
Yeah.
So we moved the fab shop down to Provo, and the accessory shop down to downtown Provo.
Right.
And it's allowed us to grow quicker. It's allowed us to take on more work. And then we added a swing shift, which doubled the work. And, man, at some point we're going to be working around the clock, man.
Right.
So
it's pretty impressive when you go down there. So Jared is the shop manager down in Provo, Fab. So it's down in it's a part of Provo called Ironton.
Right.
But that's where our heavy fab happens. And it is impressive when you go in there and they've got a 22-foot bed flipped on its side, welding underneath it.
Right.
I mean, it really is impressive.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah. It's awesome to see the capabilities of that shop. And they're doing cool stuff. Like they put a dump bed on a pickup.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Yeah, we did a pretty cool bed for, can I say names?
Yeah,
Linden,
yeah, you're good.
Excuse me, Linden City.
Yeah.
And they're in love with it. But excuse me. Anyway, it's super cool. We had to fab it from scratch.
Yeah.
We built like a little tool rack in the front, and then the back half of the bed's a dump bed. And
Oh, really?
yeah, and it'll go vertical. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, but those guys can do a lot of stuff. That fab team is pretty gifted.
Yeah. So Jared used to work for Goodfellow.
Right.
Which was like crushing equipment, quarry equipment. So really, I mean, he's done industrial fabrication for a long, long, long time. Very, very talented.
Yes.
And it's kind of almost like if you can dream it, they can build it type of thing.
Pretty dang close, man. As long as it's legal.
Or mostly legal.
Or mostly legal.
And the capabilities of the shop has just gotten more and more. Like we've always done a little bit like Rhino linings, that's the Kleenex brand, but
Right.
we've always done that. We can now do some window tint. We're getting better and better at that.
Yep. Tint's getting better.
Also graphics and stuff like that.
Graphics and wraps. Now we do powder coating in-house. Yep. So, I mean, we're bolting on all these new ways to kind of service that same customer base more and more.
Yep.
And, as these opportunities come up or as the need comes up, the biggest people that help us out are our employees.
Right.
You guys are a great networking group, and you go out there and find out exactly what we need to do. And really, that's my selfish purpose of bringing Rich on today is reaching out to the windshield wipers and telling you guys, hey, keep dumping more work in our lap. We love challenges. We love to do new things, and there is a huge need out there. Rich and I were working on a project last week with a local police department. Yep. To where now we're going to try and do, emergency vehicles and put lights and accessories on those and accessorize them and maybe some light fabrication, put some cages for canines and stuff like that.
Yep, exactly.
That's an awesome thing that heck yeah, we'll do it. You know?
You know what's funny about that story? Because, Joey, we were talking about it last week as well, and this has happened to me too, is I wonder if we do that. I wonder if we have access to that.
Yeah.
You give Rich a call, it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, I just set someone up last week.
Yeah, we've had that for 2 years, and yeah, I can get that for you.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know, because personally I had one where I was looking for a hitch for my for a trailer, and I was switching it out, and I was talking to Rich. I'm like, man, I was like, there's some really cool ones out here, and here's they are. And he's like, oh yeah, we can get those for you. Like, are you kidding me? You can get that? And I mean, this was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got that and put it on my trailer and everything
That's
like that.
awesome.
It's phenomenal. But it's just, I was looking on the internet and I found these, and I actually heard it from someone else, and I'm like, man, these are phenomenal. And one called to Rich, like, yeah, man, we got that. I can get that for you. I think I had it in like 2 or 3 days. It was crazy.
Well, we were talking just the other day, even just personally, you know, I have that. So there's a product we have called Decked. It's an organization system within your truck bed.
Right.
And I have one in my truck. But then I was telling Rich the other day, I'm like, he was asking me what I really use it for. I'm like, you know what? I love to put my guns in it. Whoa, dude, if you want to do that, we got something else. So, you know, and another box. I know we haven't even talked about it yet.
I know, I haven't heard about this.
What was it? Huco?
Duha.
Duha. I don't know. It's 4 letters.
H-A.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like a toolbox kind of that slides into your bed, locks in, but it's just for guns or whatever you want to put in it.
And then it comes all the way out.
But it comes all the way out, and it's a freaking
it
it's like a 2-wheel little dolly. It's awesome.
What?
So we may be doing something like that too. But what I'm trying to get at is the things that I don't even know or we don't even know. These guys have seen a better way to build that mousetrap.
Yep.
So my needs, even though I know what my needs are, but I don't know how to fulfill them. These guys, they know like 5 different ways to do it.
Yep.
You know, it's awesome to be able to just ask them those things. So.
And the connections that they have. You guys, I know you spend a lot of time at conferences and expos and stuff like that, and just seeing what's the latest and greatest and things of that nature. So I love it. You guys are a phenomenal resource, and Rich, you're phenomenal as well. And
Thank you.
Man, totally appreciate everything you do, and just love you to pieces.
Yeah, you're a good man, dude.
I like to tug on that beard just a little bit.
You're not allowed anywhere near my beard.
At least with a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. No more grand openings with you.
But no, you guys are so knowledgeable down there, and great service, and
Thank you.
and it's not just us, because often, you know, when I go around and I go to the different departments, and if I need anything done or something like that, you know, I take a step back and think, okay, are they just doing that because it's me?
Yeah.
Or do they do this for everybody? And I've sent people in, and that was the greatest experience I've ever had. Man, they're so cool. You know, shout out to Paul as well down there.
Phenomenal.
Well, the whole damn team, man.
I know.
Paul and
Kevin.
everybody. Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Oh my gosh. Another one.
beast.
And you guys, you just have a phenomenal team, just in all the different locations down there. And every time, I'm not afraid to send my family or my friends or our customers down there, because every time I hear back, it's just like, oh, they treated me so well. And
Yeah, they did my wife's tires on her car, and she was like, she loves Marco and Carden, you know, those guys. And they're awesome. They really are. They're so kind to people, and they don't treat them like idiots. They treat them respectfully. So, we have some great people in that department, and that's, you know, a lot of that has to do with you for recruiting them and bringing them in. So, great job, man.
I appreciate it, guys. But yeah, it's a team thing for sure, man. It's definitely not just me. But
No, you and Martin, you know, you guys have built that thing to be a behemoth. So Martin Matthews does the
Martin.
operational side of it and kind of keeps all the geese flying in the same direction, you know. And Rich is spearheading the effort of building that business bigger. So
the thing is you know, it is a team thing. I would agree with you, but you had from the get-go, you had an awesome vision.
Yeah.
thanks.
And it was one that we were able to execute. You've done a good job executing as well. And a shout out to Martin Matthews as well. He's had a huge part in it as well.
Yeah.
The two of you have just been yin to the yang on that one.
Yeah, between the two of you, it's been awesome.
Yeah,
so.
you guys have done a great job.
Yeah, thanks. And he does, to your guys' point, because if we did everything my way, you guys would be broke. So he
well, that's the whole point, right?
He keeps his, he takes make sure I don't get out of control.
That's EOS hard at work.
Right.
You know, you
Yep.
got the visionary and the integrator, and you just work in concert together, and it works out well.
Indeed. Yep, it works out.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well, we're probably about done with the commute for the windshield wipers, so we'll call it a morning there. But Rich,
Cool.
thanks for coming in, dude.
well, thanks for having me on.
Like
You
I
guys
said,
are
we'll
awesome.
we'll have you in again. We'll talk beards,
I like it.
whatever.
Let's go.
Okay, man. Brandon, you got any party shots?
No, thanks, man. I appreciate you. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Love
Thanks
you
for all
too.
you do and the great example you are for us.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
Shorts? You don't have any words. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.